Hi there, folks. This is Sean Broderick for the Oxford Club, and I'm here in beautiful Carlsbad, California. And I'm speaking to Scott Melbye. He's the executive vice president of a uranium company called UEC, which is a great company, and operate down in Texas. And we'll speak about that in another video. Right now, Scott's going to give us his insight on the global uranium market, which he actually has some great perspective on, because he's going to be an advisor to the world's biggest uranium company, and I'm going to mispronounce it. How's it pronounced? Kazatomprom, which is out of Kazakhstan, and international in scope. And so could you please tell my subscribers, and believe me, this is one thing they ask me all the time, why hasn't the price of uranium gone up when we see all these nuclear power plants being built and stuff like that?
Well, thanks, Sean, and it's great to be here with you here in Carlsbad. I know it's been very frustrating, 5-year period since Fukushima. Uranium investors have waited for this price recovery. The fundamentals in the broader market have probably never looked better in terms of new reactors that are under construction and planned, and the 440 reactors that are operating around the world. They're the 24/7 baseload energy source in those regions. And so we're consuming a lot of uranium. We're going to consume a lot more. However, we have seen a very challenging start to the year where we had come off the lows of 2014 and touched $40 a pound briefly, but now in 2016 we've seen the price go back down to that $28 level. While disappointing, it's not too discouraging in that a lot of this price movement has happened on very light volume, and by that we mean that the electric utility fuel buyers, while they have significant unfilled requirements in 2017, 2018 onward, they really feel somewhat complacent towards coming into the market now while prices are either flat or falling. So we have a bit of a trend here where the price has been really falling on low volumes. But as is the case with any markets, that thin volume can work just as well the other way.
Yeah, one thing that you were saying to me when we spoke previously is that these big power companies, as they see the price of uranium go down or drift, they don't feel any real compunction to run in and buy. It's when the price goes up, then they'll say, oh my gosh, then we have to finally start covering, right?
It's not very proactive. Obviously, they should be in the market now and taking advantage of the low prices. Just take a page out of what the Chinese are doing, and the Indians, they're stockpiling uranium at these low levels, and I think that's a really smart move. But in the U.S., regulated and deregulated utilities, I think they need to be a little more compelled with a clear market bottom or a strengthening to give them the sign that it's time to come in and add to their either spot purchasing or medium-term or long-term purchasing.
Well, I'm so glad that you brought up China, because in their last 5-year plan, they actually upped the amount of nuclear power plants they're going to build. Isn't that right?
It was incredibly positive. I think anyone who follows China knows that every 5 years they come out with a new 5-year plan, and this is the 13th 5-year plan that was tabled in Beijing in March. There was a very heavy emphasis on air quality given what's happening in the large Chinese cities, and part of that has been a real acceleration of nuclear build-out in China. Already the numbers were very encouraging. We have 27 gigawatts installed today in China. It's going to 58 gigawatts by 2020, 97 or close to 100 gigawatts by 2025. The new news that came out in that plan was that they are going to increase the breaking ground on new reactors from 6 to 8 presently to over 10 past 2020. What that's going to result to is 160 gigawatts of installed capacity by 2040. And when the Communist Party puts out these 5-year plans, this is not a wish list or sort of a target. It is they're the marching orders for state-owned organizations, the Bank of China to provide capital. The human resources are directed to build these out. And as I said, this is a huge air quality move. They have put a moratorium on coal-fired power plants being built in China, so the nuclear is going to have to pick up some of that load. And it's also very much in keeping with previous 5-year plans. It is a stimulus program for inland provinces.
Right. Well, this is exciting stuff. I mean, we've all been watching price of uranium saying, why isn't it going up? Now we're starting to see things fall into place in the global market and in the U.S. market that could actually start to move price is higher. Fukushima was 5 years ago. They've actually learned a lot since then. People seem to be moving on beyond that disaster to the fact that while we like solar power, we can't count on that to keep the lights on. We have to use stuff like nuclear power to really do that as well. Scott, is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap this segment up?
Well, I think we focused a lot on the demand side, but also, you can't go through a 5-year bear market and not have impact on the supply side, and that's an important part of the equation. And really, outside of 2 mines globally, the Husab mine in Namibia and the Cigar Lake mine in Canada, there's really no new mine development and no expansion of existing capacity. So we have a bit of a situation now where we've got production likely topping out and potentially decreasing in the coming years, just at a time when demand for uranium is increasing at a rate of about 3% annually for the next 15, 20 years.
Well, that is great stuff. Thanks very much for speaking to my subscribers about this. I want to keep you guys informed on things like uranium because it's a fascinating market and something we really have to watch, and I hope to have some picks for you soon because we like to buy things when they're cheap, and guess what? Uranium is really cheap, as are many companies in this area too.
Great timing right now.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Thanks.